has not declared a war. We have been engaged in a welfare program for Iraq. It was called Operation Iraqi Freedom. We never declared a war. We never fought a war. All we did is let our American soldiers die by trying to prevent Iraqis from killing each other, trying to save poor Iraqis. It's as if after Pearl Harbor, President Roosevelt would have said, you know what? We have to go find those Japanese bombers who bombed Pearl Harbor. We don't want to hurt any Japanese people, Japanese innocent people. We want to free the Japanese people from the emperor. But we're going to find those individual people who bombed Pearl Harbor. We would be speaking Japanese now, or German. But no, Roosevelt, a liberal Republican, a liberal Democrat, declared war on December 8th on Japan, war on Germany, on Austria, on Italy, on the entire axis of evil. And we fought a war in which we tried to kill as many Japs, as many Krauts, and we used those derogatory names because they were our enemies. We tried to kill as many of them as we could. In their military, their cities, we bombed cities, we tried to demoralize them, we tried to wipe them out as much as we could until those left alive surrendered. That's what war is. These countries in the Islamic Middle East want nuclear weapons. We could send them nuclear weapons. We could fight a war and it would be over very quickly. That is a war. And that's what we should do. But that's not what Bush is doing, because Bush is a weakling militarily. He fights like a liberal. He wants to help the enemy. And so someone like Obama is coming along, and he's more of the same. More weakness. Bush is here. Obama wants to go here. We need to be over here. It's amazing. If you told people 50 years ago that we would be fighting a war this way, where we're laying down our own soldiers' lives to save the enemy, they would say, are you insane? It's insanity. It's insanity. We need a military policy, a foreign policy, similar to what I'm talking about domestically. We have to be interested in Americans, saving the lives of Americans, not saving the lives of people, the so-called innocent people in the foreign countries, just as, oh, the Germans, the Japanese in World War II, they were innocent. The German people, oh, they were innocent. They had nothing to do with Hitler becoming their leader. Nothing to do with it. Yeah, we do need change. We need, but that's not a slogan that makes any sense. We need to identify in specifics, in principles, what the change is. Not just change we need, change we can believe in. Words such as capitalism, individual rights, a constitutional republic based on individual rights. Capitalism, a system in which private property is privately owned and individual rights of life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness are respected. That is a slogan that makes sense, that has meaning. And the opposite of that idea is socialism or collectivism, the idea that the group has preeminence and that any individual is dispensable and unimportant. That would be a campaign that makes sense. We are heading down the path of socialism. The new administration is going down that path faster. We have been going down that path for the past century, and it's going faster. We've got to reverse that path and head back to freedom, to capitalism, but a better form of capitalism even than what we had, because it's got to be one that understands explicitly the idea that that every individual has a right to exist and a right to pursue his self-interest, and he is not fodder for the group. That idea has to be made explicit. That's what we need to fight for. And all the problems we have, all the practical problems, will be solved thereby. And all the problems we do have today have been exacerbated by the welfare state. Medical care. When I was growing up in the early 60s, before Medicaid and Medicare, you know how much it cost to go to a doctor in New York City? $2. Now it's $200. What has been solved by Medicare, which is socialized medicine already? Medicare and Medicaid and controls on health insurance and all the rest of it. That already is 80% socialized. So the new administration wants to make it 100%. That is not the solution. We have to turn it back into 100% free. 100% freedom. Not a free good, but freedom. That's just one example. All of these things would be solved if we went back to freedom. That's all I have to say for today.